Welcome to the channel. Today I am going to share with you seven blogging mistakes I made in my first year blogging. I started blogging in June 2020, and recently I just completed. I say recently, yeah, June. Yeah, we're in August now while I'm making this video, and I made a lot of mistakes, and that's why I did not progress because ordinarily as a blogger in first year of blogging I should make a level of progress. I should be saying, oh, I'm a blogger and this is the result. They're not big results, yeah, but a considerable level of traffic and a considerable level of income to say, well, I'm a blogger. But for now I don't have those things because I made mistakes and I messed up, and I owe to my I say owe to my mistakes. I acknowledge my mistakes and I am working and changing them. So I wanted to share with you those mistakes so you don't make those mistakes. And if you're making those mistakes, I share with you some solutions and some ways I'm dealing with the mistakes. And the first mistake I made was imposter syndrome. I felt I wasn't good enough, and I wasn't good enough. Yeah, I didn't have those big glories and awards and all those things. But in reality, blogging is not all about being an expert. Well, you could be an expert. It's about sharing your journey. Now, in such situation, now what I'm doing is I'm using myself as the guinea pig. I'm trying strategies. I'm trying tips. I'm trying all those things in a niche on myself, and I'm sharing my experience. And that's what connects with people. That's what people want to know. Now, in the age where AI is writing everything, what stands out and what AI, I don't think AI can write is personal stories. And even if AI writes it, it won't be true because AI does not have personal stories. And that's where we stand at as bloggers. So what I'm doing is I realizing that look, I'm not teaching, I'm sharing. I'm not an expert, I'm just sharing my journey. So if anyone, it's just like a friend. I would talk to a friend about, wait, I'm doing this, and like this is what I'm doing, and the friend's not gonna say, wait, are you an expert? No, the friend will say, wow, this is a friend sharing journey, and that's how I approach my blog now. The second mistake I'm looking at the book because I wrote some of the tips here. The second mistake I made is fear of making mistakes. Now it's amazing that no, not amazing. Sorry, but the fear of making mistakes is a mistake. Yeah, Albert Einstein said that someone who has never made a mistake has never tried anything new, and blogging was new to me. Because blogging was new to me, I was scared that I would do some things and I'm not going to get results, and I end up doing nothing, and I had no results. I had nothing because I was not doing anything. And so I maxim myself that look, as long as I review my mistakes, I learn from my mistakes, then I don't have anything to worry. As long as because blogging is not life and death situation. It's not like military where if you make a mistake, someone's gonna die. Yeah, yeah. Of course, some things gonna happen, but not death situation. So you can make mistakes and learn from mistakes. Why they don't repeat the mistakes? Now, the third mistake I made is overconsuming. I feel like this overconsuming should be the first. It should be the first mistake I made, yeah, because I spent literally the time I had watching videos, signing up for course, consuming content over and over and over and over and over and over. Content I could literally just spend blogging. Now, they were influenced by a lot of factors, but if I had spent this time before I would watch 10 to 15-minute video because I wanted to reinforce the fact that I could succeed. I wasn't setting. I didn't know that I shouldn't be looking for certainty, I should be looking for clarity. I should know what I wanted to do and do it. That's what I just needed. But I was looking at I needed to be extra sure that it's going to work out, and so I watched YouTube videos more and more and binge watched more, and I ended up being watching more and more and more, and still no content, no work, no nothing. I did nothing, and at the end of the day, the results. Now, Jim Brown said that if your learning should not lead to more knowledge. Your learning should lead to action, and it's the action that gets the results. So if you're someone who is interested in getting results, then you should be interested in putting what you've learned to action. So now what I do is I dedicate a specific time to consuming content, because if I don't do that, I'm gonna allow consuming content interfere with creating content. And as someone who has been consuming content all my life, it's really hard to shift into creating content and going into creator mode. Now, one of the tools I use is the YouTube subscription. For the YouTube subscription, I just find the top influencers and authority sites that are going to really talk anything that I need to know in SEO and blogging, those key areas that I need to learn about. And I subscribe to them, over five of them. And whatever thing, expert thing that came out, they would share it with me. And I can always see the subscription at the end of the week. I will not see them. So I'm not going to miss anything out, no matter how good the content is. Another thing I use for blog posts is Feedly. Feedly is a free app that you connect a website to list of websites that you follow, and whatever blog post they publish is going to list it out for you, like YouTube subscriptions. And no matter when, 10 days, 20 days, you're still going to see the content. So there's really no fear of missing out of content. Now, the fourth mistake I made was comparison syndrome. Yeah, for a long time, I was comparing myself with all the time. I felt like, oh, this blog, I need to do this thing like this blog. I need to. I feel sometimes some bloggers they the money to outsource content creation, and I'm comparing myself to them. Some are, in their first month of blogging, they created like 100 pieces of content, and I'm still struggling to make one. And I'm not getting the result that they got, and I'm asking myself why. That I'm just so terrible blogging. I have issues with myself, but it's not true. Instead, I should be asking myself, using myself as a point of reference to say, how can I be better? And I've stopped comparing myself and asking myself, what can I do differently based on my time, my resources, my talent, and what I know? How can I push forward, keep pushing, and expand beyond my comfort zone? What is my comfort zone? What am I comfortable doing? And what am I running from that can really change and get me the results I want when I start doing them? Now, the fifth uh, mistake I made is priority problem. Now, according to Pareto principle, it says that 20% of what we do provide 80% of the result. And in life, we find that 20% of the songs we listen to on our playlist, uh, 20% of the songs on our playlist we listen to 80% of the time, and 20% of the clothes in our wardrobe we wear 80% of the time, and all the other things. So in blogging, 20% of the task provides 80% of the result, and the problem comes in that when we're working on the 80%, we are working on a lot of tasks, and because we're working on a lot of tasks, we have the idea that because we're working on a lot of tasks, we're going to make a lot of progress. Whereas the 20% that was actually going to give us the 80% of the bulk of the result, we're running from them. And this what called busy procrastination. Busy procrastination is when you're not just procrastinating, doing anything. Instead, you're engaging yourself with tasks that don't really provide the results. Like going through my email over and over and again when I ought to be writing a blog post. When I'm doing something, I'm making my email less spammy. And did I say less spammy? Yeah, less of emails. I don't know what I'm saying. Less of emails, but that's not what's going to provide the results that I want. So I'm asking my priority. What are the things that can move the needle based on my goals and the reason I'm blogging? And I found that it's creating a blog post, creating consistent content, and email list building. Very important. Every other thing is secondary. Now, other factors we add onto it depending on your goals and the stage at which you are in blogging. But as a basic blogger, it's creating content and building an email list. Now, the sixth problem I faced was no strategy. Now, they say that when you are everywhere, you end up being nowhere. What am I saying? No, that's not the way to say it. Uh, oh, something like that. But when you're following everything, you end up following nothing. And the idea of this one blogger, this influencer comes with this strategy on blogging, and I'm like, whoa, I'm going to use that strategy. Pinterest. Well, Pinterest worked for him or her. I'm going to use that strategy. And then the other one comes with use SEO. Forget about Pinterest. It's a waste of time. I'm like, wow, SEO, Pinterest. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to waste my time on Pinterest. And I end up moving round and round and round in cycles and motion. And don't mistake motion that you're moving for progress. Ask yourself, am I progressing or am I just spinning in circles? And so what I found out is this: I've selected the strategies that are good, that like suit me based on my time, my energy, and my skills and the talent, and the ones I really want to work with. And I've created my own strategy. And in one of my coming videos, I will talk about the blogging strategy I'm going to use to in detail, because the first time when I posted the video, I didn't really have the strategy well figured out. So I'm going to talk about strategy in detail on how I'm going to grow from 0 to 100,000 page views or $0 to $1,000 in 5 months. And if you don't want to miss the video, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. Now, the seventh mistake I made is inconsistency. Now, folks found, according to research, that uh, bloggers increase their traffic by 90% when they blog consistently. And because of the other factors I mentioned, I wasn't blogging, I wasn't writing consistently, and because of that, I wasn't seeing traction, I wasn't seeing progress, and I ended up with no results after even 1 year of blogging. I still had no results. I couldn't show anything. And if they ask me blog, I say, well, what have you done? How many traffic, how many visitors do you get per month? How much do you earn per month? I'm like, yeah, it's pretty much not like that. It's kind of complicated. It takes a longer time. It's much of an investment. Well, all these things I'm doing, I'm actually defending myself from the mistakes I have made. Now, this one video kind of long to me, I don't know, but you got value thus far. Book the like button, and if you're not yet subscribed, make sure you subscribe. And if you have any question or you want to ask me, drop them in the comment section below, and I'll do what to answer them. Until next time, keep building your passion and then around the creative life you love. Until next time, see you. Oh, the introduction, the conclusion was kind of messed up, but you get the idea. See you in the next video.